paper magic will survive like the heat death of the universe, and will...
Oh, it's a smuggler's copter. Would you like to crew this? And then it crashes because they don't understand arithmetic.
All your cards belong to me.
2 minutes into macing him in the eyeballs, I switched to pepper spray. He's like, it's all right, refreshing. And went back to the mace.
Magic is dying. I'm done. Selling everything.
I might be a hoarder. And yes,
I don't have the crayons or glue to explain this to you right now.
What, are you gonna die twice?
Oil will be worthless before magic cards will.
well, okay, Dr. Man.
That's Mr. Dr. Professor Jason.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the edition of Brainstorm Brewery. I'm your host, Evan Irwin, here with another episode of Brainstorm Brewery. We got our podcast guest, Jason All, our other host, DJ, and you know what? We're here to talk to you about some Magic the Gathering cards.
I got demoted to guest.
That was incredible.
That was not even my best attempt. I can do an opening.
That's not
like
even
Evan
the
Irwin if you want.
least. That's not even the most disrespectful thing Evan Irwin's done to me. So,
Well, I call you a guest now because you're not a regular anymore. I thought you'd appreciate it, not being fully associated with it.
oh, so this is vacation. I just get to be the talent. I show up in my break and bulk and pick of the week.
Yeah.
Make everybody wonder if Evan Irwin actually did something disrespectful to me, or if he's employed me for 13 years. Who knows?
It could be
got
both.
nothing.
We just got to keep everyone
It
on
could be
their toes.
both.
This Eternal Witness play match sure to be sought after for years to come.
You know what else will be sought after for years to come? This Fracture Brewing
Is that a
Type
good beer?
Machine Oat Cream IPA was sent to me by Johnny Arcuso. If you don't recognize that name, you probably recognize the token that Johnny drew for us, the Sapperling token. He sent me some of his stickers. These are wild. Go to his website, Johnny Accurso, ACURSO.com, and you can get some of these crazy stickers. These are cool. I bet he doesn't have the license to do that, so don't do it too much, probably. We don't want him getting lore cannoned, but he sent me a delicious beer, and then he sent me a backup.
I thought you were going to say lore cannoned.
Well,
As in, like, they attacked him
yeah,
with
lore
naval
cannon.
ships.
So Johnny just wanted to touch base with us. It's been a while since he made that token. He's a longtime listener, and he wanted to let people know that the original painting for the sapling token is still available. So if you don't want these stickers, but you actually want that original painting, you can get that at JohnnyAccurso.com. He says, thanks for the years of content. I appreciate that. Thanks, bud. And thanks for the beers. And if you want me to say your thing, send me a beer and a note. That's it. Just send me some beer, send me a note, and I'll plug your thing.
I will happily give Jason's address out to anybody who asks, listener or not.
If it's for beer, sure.
Yeah, I mean, or not. I mean, let's just keep doors open. You know, let's
Like
just
I
keep open possibilities.
I can't pretend my address is a secret when I like give it out to patrons and anybody that buys cards from me. One of you creeps though delivered an Amazon package and wrote that you were a BSB patron on the package, and I was like, just ring the doorbell. If you're gonna be a fucking creep, introduce yourself. Just ring the doorbell.
So this is the person who drives for Amazon.
You got me.
who
You made me
was at
feel
your
weird.
place.
You win. This was like months ago, but I brought it up now.
Sure.
You made me feel weird.
Corbin Hostler is not with us tonight or ever again. He passed away, and we're just bringing it up now, like 7 minutes into the recording. But I mean,
Tragically and hilariously, he died.
it's
Of
a
course he
footnote,
died.
really.
Of course it was Corbin.
There was 5 minutes. Marianne let him out of the site, and I saw him with 2 milk crates in his hand, and then I turned, and then there was
I have an
blood
immune
everywhere.
system, he said, and he shortened. Like, it's just his eyes and nose peeking out of his clavicle. He completely compressed his spine and shit out 3 inches.
It was actually a horse-related accident.
vertebrae.
They were visiting the family horse, and it kicked off his torso.
His head's still where it was. It's just his arms are there, but his torso.
Inertia held it in place.
There's a cartoon like sound effect as it happens.
Yeah.
Or his torso just stretches way out, and you hear like a rubber band noise, and then.
We are here to talk about Commander Masters. We're here to talk about Commander Spellbook.
We're not going to tell you whether we're serious about Corbin being dead, apparently.
He's dead, for real.
both of the. Why not both? Right? Like,
We wouldn't joke about something this hilarious.
and we're here to talk about the 32-person Commander game, something that Jason could only dream of.
Oh my god, I read
in.
that and I was like, why?
Well,
They
well,
were sitting at two different tables.
we'll
Half
get
the
to it
people weren't
later.
even facing each other.
We'll get to it later. It was something that you probably had to experience to enjoy, I'm sure. But before we get into any of that, we want to make sure that you know we are brought to you by our favorite new sponsor, Lockheed Martin. Lockheed Martin is your favorite place to go to buy any sort of defensive
We have too
or
many
offensive
legit
material.
pitches for you to do a joke pitch, man.
You know, DJ,
We gotta
if
go
you
into
keep-
Manscaped now. That's it, Lockheed.
If you keep pitching defense contractors, we're going to end up in a hairy situation. And you know the best way out of a hairy situation? Our sponsor, Manscaped. A little more from our sponsor, Manscaped now.
Brainstorm Brewery is brought to you by Manscaped, the best in below-the-waist grooming. Their products are precision-engineered tools for the family jewels. The Performance Package is the ultimate hygiene bundle. Join over 8 million people worldwide who trust Manscaped with this exclusive offer. We have 20% and free worldwide shipping if you use the code BSB. You'll get the Performance Package 4.0. It's really a game changer. Inside the package, you'll find the Lawnmower 4.0 trimmer, the Weed Whacker ear and nose hair trimmer, the Crop Preserver and Crop Reviver, as well as a gift of performance boxer briefs and a travel bag. This is everything you need if you are traveling and want to take care of yourself just a little bit better than maybe you have in the past. Manscaped has all of the tools for you. Join over 8 million people worldwide who trust Manscaped with this exclusive offer. We have 20% and free worldwide shipping if you use the code BSB.
That was pretty good.
I've had that one in me for like a week. Nobody else is selling hair trimmers for gay men quite like Manscaped. And I respect them for that.
If it
Yeah.
weren't for gay men, who would be telling straight men they needed to shave their balls?
Honestly, that's the thing
Straight
about...
women?
No, straight women don't have enough self-esteem to tell their boyfriends to shave their balls because they...
That's true.
Because of misogyny.
That's a good
You
point.
need a gay man to make you feel inferior if you're a straight man before you're willing to shave your balls. And if that happens, great. You shave your balls, baby smooth. Your girl's like, oh wow, your balls are so smooth. And you too can have that with Manscaped.
You're gonna have to cut that up a little bit, JJ. But
Oh yeah, none of
I
that's
think that one's
that's what I said
after
every
hours.
time I grab my Manscaped Lawnmower 4.0, which I use in the shower because it has a light on it, which is legit a good feature.
It's actually like a pretty great tool.
It is. I'm so
like-
glad we got one for free. I don't...
Like no joke, it's actually like a pretty nice piece of machinery that I use with regularity.
Yeah, since it was a strict upgrade over the one I was using, so
Yeah.
thanks, Manscaped. They didn't tell us to say that, but they should have. Hey, Manscaped, shave your nuts, idiot. There. Shave the spot between your nuts and your leg. Shave the spot between your nuts and your butthole.
You really got to get the gooch. You got to make sure the
Get
gooch is hairless. If the
that
balls are hairless and the
gooch.
gooch is hairy, it's untenable.
That razor's like Jonah Hill. Get him to the gooch. Or was that Russell Brand that was to be gotten to the Greek?
I couldn't I think it's Russell Brand. Doesn't seem like a Jonah Hill thing.
No, Jonah Hill was in that, though. He was like...
Was he?
He had to get him to the Greek.
Was he the Greek?
No, the Greek was a venue.
He was the get.
No, Jonah Hill had to take Russell Brand to a venue, and it was hard because Russell Brand is a man-child.
So is Jonah Hill. So it was, it was a good pairing.
Mm-hmm. You know what else is a good pairing? Original magic art and
This
I'm
podcast
caught in a
is
pitch
2 hours
loop. I
of
can't
business.
get out. Help!
When we're talking about picks, there's no better place to find your pick of the week than mtgstocks.com.
No, because that's where we get our picks available for people who have the spreadsheet at patreon.com/PSBs. Help! Said help!
All right, JJ. Now
I'm
you
just
have
here
all of our
drinking
ad
Johnny
pitches.
Accurso's beer, wondering how we get out of a pitch loop. Help!
I didn't realize I was starting the podcast when I did that Evan Irwin bit, by the way. I didn't realize I was starting.
Oh, you were. I was about to do the bit where I was going to pretend to be Corbin, but that bit's a little overdone, so I'm glad you just grabbed the reins. And
Hey, everybody. I had to take this week off because there's glass in my face. Don't
Well,
ask.
the horse kicked glass into his face. That's how he died.
He died cutting himself with a blender
And it
attachment.
was
Clean
wait,
in
it was-
his dishwasher. That's how
it
he
was-
died. That's how dumb he is.
It was
Yeah,
that one.
tetanus.
It was like, you remember Spider-Man 2, that scene where Doc Ock's wife dies, where the glass like comes real close to her face, and then she
Yeah.
sees her own, and then it cuts her, but you don't actually see it cut her. It was like that.
Yeah.
Like you just picture Corbin going like, "Ugh," and then like a giant shard of glass. Just
If there's anyone in the MTG finance community who's gonna die a Final Destination death, it's that guy. We're all gonna have regular deaths. I'm gonna die of heart disease, but Corbin's gonna die from some fucking Pee Wee Herman's breakfast machine bullshit happening in his
like
living
a bunch
room.
of like, you know, the one where the bunch of logs fall off the truck, like when they're driving. It's gonna be that, but horses.
His cause of death is going to be third-degree burns from the cornballer.
I thought those were illegal.
Not in
The
Mexico,
title
they're
of the
not.
episode is just Corbin died, a period.
Yeah.
Corbin
Died,
period,
LOL.
parentheses for real, parentheses, gone wild, parentheses.
NSFW. If you say NSFW, do you get like demonetized?
Only if it's in the first 8 minutes.
Does YouTube pick that out?
I make sure to curse in the first couple of minutes of every podcast just to make sure we get demonetized.
That's good. Wait, we could have gotten monetized if we didn't say the word all the time?
Yeah, I think it has to be like the first 8 minutes. If you don't swear for the first 8 minutes, you can be monetized or something.
Oh. How long have we been casting now?
But my
Too
recording
many
is 18
episodes.
minutes.
Too many episodes. 570 episodes or something.
Someone
like
should have
that.
told us to be clean 10 years ago. It's way too late now.
Well, you know, you can get a nice clean shave with our sponsor, Manscaped. Do you want to talk about magic?
Do you?
gonna-
Hey, we could talk about a website that I wrote about in an article this week. I was like, hey, I might as well just like keep talking about the stuff I do. That's my MTG stocks thing. It's like even more, here's how I do my job. And I got into a little bit how I use MTG stocks to find cards I look at on EDH Rec. But there's so I guess my whole thought process for the article, I'm just going to describe an article. Isn't this great? Cauldron Familiar went up, and instead of just being like Cauldron Familiar went up because of the Samwise Gamgee deck. You go to the Samwise Gamgee deck on EDH Rec and you look what else is in the deck. So that's what I did, but also Commander Spellbook, which is linked on EDH Rec. You can, on any Commander's page, it just says a Commander Spellbook. So you can find combos on that website or on EDH Rec because they're like integrated. But if you go to the Commander Spellbook website, it's very nice. You type in a card, and it brings up all the cards that it's in combos with. So if you type in Cauldron Familiar, they're like, well, people are using this with Witch's Oven and Samwise Gamgee and like a sack outlet to make infinite colorless mana and infinite food like that. So it'll tell you all the cards that are in the combos, the colors of the color identity, in like big pips, so a dummy like me can read it. And it's really useful to see if, okay, well, Cauldron Familiar already went up. We're not going to make money on Cauldron Familiar. Is there anything else that it combos with? And it turns out, well, Witch's Oven is about half of its historic high for foil price. Who knew that? I wouldn't have looked at Witch's Oven, but looking at Cauldron Familiar led me to the Commander Spellbook, which led me to look at stuff like Witch's Oven. And, oh man, I had a bunch ready. Caused me to look at stuff like Witch's Oven. And that's it. That's the only card I looked at. Because I don't remember card names because I'm old and I had a head injury. Seriously, I was in high school in Oklahoma. I had a head injury, and I've spent the last like 12 years thinking that I was a separate person named Jason, but no one's ever seen him and Corbin in the same room. So I found out the hard way. I haven't actually been a person for 12 years. So that's why I can't remember card names.
Corbin didn't die, he just re-merged with Jason.
They just like took some of Guy Fieri's DNA because
Maybe Corbin and
trampled by a
Jason's
mob.
brains combined can guess my breaking bulk of the week.
Breaking bolt time. Breaking bolt time. Break.
Oh, yeah, Breaking Bulk. There's so much good stuff.
It's a pick. Breaking Bulk. The end.
And it's
Corbin-
a spicy one.
Doesn't Corbin do well at this lately, and it's infuriating?
He does okay at it. He just keeps claiming he's the best ever, which is like super weird.
Yeah.
Because it worked on me.
I mean, he's dead now, so it's all in the past.
You get stuff in like 2 seconds, like Corbin would have got that eventually.
Well, I have one that I think will stump everyone. Ooh. This is a red card from Tempest with 0 reprints, and it's under $1.
What's its rarity?
Is it a sliver?
It's not a sliver.
What's its rarity? Is it that ooze? Is it lightning dragon?
It is a rare. It is a red rare from Tempest.
So it's the ooze, or it's lightning dragon, or it's a mock was
lightning dragon was Ursa's.
Yeah, you're right. What was I
it
thinking?
goblin?
There was a different wrathy dragon. That's what I was thinking of.
This one shocked me. Not gonna lie. I saw this one on my
Tempest.
Roku Roka.
Is it?
I was like, oh, I've never seen this card before.
Sudden Impact was uncommon, right? Oh, DJ's never seen it, so it's like not even.
Yeah.
You know what? I don't remember all the rares from Tempest.
Yeah, I got nothing.
This might be a fun little fact. This
is
card
it a creature?
It is a creature. This card has been $1 roughly since 2012. So this card has been the same price for like 10 plus years.
Is it the Mog, like Sacrifice and Make Goblins or something? Like Mog Infestation? Or
not a goblin.
No, that was
not goblin related.
Stronghold.
Sure. Oh, yeah, it was.
So this card name is just called Shocker.
Oh, yeah!
Yeah, Shocker.
It is a 2-mana 1/1 insect. If it damages a player, that player has to windfall.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah.
So you can do weird things with like the new Shieldred. It doesn't say combat damage, so you can
we would put in Fire Whip on this boy back in the day.
See, I don't know Shocker, but I know Barbed Shocker from Time Spiral.
Yeah. Barb Shocker was like a 1/1 ant or something.
Yeah, it was the referential card to it. It also got reprinted like a couple commander decks, or maybe Conspiracy or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, Barb Shocker is 2 more mana, but it has trample.
Is Shocker on the reserved list? Is that what the deal is?
This card is not on the reserved list. It is.
How do you know that, DJ?
I'm just good at the video game, man. I don't know what to tell. It's skill difference, built different. I'm skill diff and built different.
Sometimes you just come across an opponent who's just better than you, easily.
Yeah, like some people are saying I'm the best at, I don't know, like some people who are no longer alive, like I think Corbin's last words were like, DJ is the best at breaking bolt.
I actually was there, I heard that. He actually said that.
That was the flatline noise I just made.
Corbin didn't cough, that was DJ, because he always does that cough.
But yeah, Shocker, art by Thomas Bax, just like a random card that some people have been buying. I'm more impressed that this has just been $1 card. Like this card's price line is a flat line. This card's
It
price
hasn't
graph.
changed in a decade. It's a pick. Definitely yank those out of bulk. Wouldn't want to bulk out a 12-cent card.
I mean, it's like $1. You know, the price on it was kind of a shocker to me, but like, you know, I'll still
I
pull.
made that joke before. I said that before I named the card.
But see, I said it so it's funnier.
DJ's road coat went through a stack of these and would put 2 in one pile and then 1 in another. Just kept doing that back and forth till it wasn't funny anymore.
My breaking bulk this week is a white Theros rare.
Like Theros?
Fabled
Theros,
Hero,
Theros.
Gift of Immortality.
Nope. You can't just guess all of them.
Why not?
I guess you can.
100-handed one?
No,
That was
E-Honda is
Theros?
not the one.
White Theros rare.
My visual memory trying to picture a card art next to an expansion symbol is literally how my brain does this, and it makes me real bad at coming up with the name of cards.
I believe it has no reprints.
Chain
Let
to
me
Rock?
confirm.
Chain to a Rock?
Yep, Chain to the Rocks.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
Technically,
That was
it's
the
a
first one I
Boros rare.
guessed.
I thought about saying Boros rare to throw you all off, but I knew that specifically DJ would have an issue with it.
Oh, if
No, I think that would have. I would have got.
I
that
think
quicker if
DJ
you
would
said
have been like,
Boros
"Why
rare.
did you say? Is it Boros or Boros? It's not Boros colored."
Sure.
If you said Boros, I would have gotten it quicker.
The other Boros card was the Team RRW was doing this deck right when the Genji, I guess. Genju, you put the red one and the white one on a plains, give it like 4 instances of lifelink, and then make it a 6/1 and just hit somebody and win the game. But you had to put them both on a Sacred Foundry. It was very funny.
I guess it would have to be you put it on a Savai Triumph now with the Black Genju too.
Oh, we broke the format.
Little Triumph Genju Zendikon action.
Because they didn't have fetches back then. We got a million ways to fetch for... Ooh.
When I was very new to
I want to do this in EDH. I would have 3 wishes and get all 3 Genji.
When I was
put
much
them all
newer
on
to
the same
Magic,
trial.
I thought that Wind Zendikon was very, very strong because it was a 1-mana 2/2 flyer.
It's above rate.
Yeah.
Yeah, 1-mana 2/2 flyers usually have a huge drawback, but not this one.
This one taps for mana.
You're talking me into it. Why is this card bad?
All right, I'm gonna
Chain
have
of
to
the
talk
Rocks
you
is
into
like-
your breaking bulk, Jason. What do you got for us?
Oh, I got a card with 6 printings, but you still might... I don't know, this is pretty obvious, but like... Is it obvious? I'm getting these in bulk. It was originally in Scars of Mirrodin as an uncommon. In fact, it's never not been an uncommon.
What color?
Colorless.
Contagion Clasp?
No.
Uh,
Contagion Class might not have that many printings.
I didn't think so. I thought
Scars of Mirrodin? Is it a mirror?
It is a mirror, but it is no mirror.
Palladium.
because-
Galvanizer? Or a Palladium,
Yeah. I
the
mean,
other one.
yeah.
I guess people were playing 3 mana rocks that tap for 2 colorless back in the day. Palladium Mirror has always been good. Having it on feet, having it be able to get resurrected easily.
Well, originally, this
having
one was an infinite combo. You'd get 2 Mirror Galvanizers and the 1 Palladium, and then you would kill them with Battle Sphere by tapping and untapping it an infinite number of times.
Yeah.
So
I love Battlesphere.
This was like an OG forum deck back in the day where you just post this in the forums, then ask for advice, and somebody else would tell you to flush your deck down the toilet and buy Jace the Mind Sculptors like a real man. I mean, I've just heard that, like nobody said that to me personally, but like I've been around like the Essential Magic forums, and I saw a few other people say that to a few other people, and like I mean,
DJ's having like MTG Salvation flashbacks.
Oh man,
So
I
I've
think the
heard.
most unhinged thing I ever did was I was playing like a mono white Kithkin deck, and somebody gave me like sideboard advice that I didn't want. I think I just had a little splash of green for Gaddock Teague. He's like, put Thornwheeled Archers in there because it's strictly better than all the other sideboard cards you have. And I was like, okay. Well, I think Damnation is strictly better than Thoughtweft Trio, so let's make that swap. And then I just had Kyle Bogemus's Esper control list at the end of it after I swapped out all the... And I like spent an hour on this, and I was like, everyone thinks I'm wrong still. Even after that, it was a very humbling moment for making an I am very smart post when I was 20 and then immediately regretting it. The internet's wild. You can be as fucking dumb as you want on there.
They will just let you say anything.
They will let you say anything, so I've heard. I mean, some of the anythings that we saw today were Commander Masters previews. Corbin lives on, really, through me. Through the segues.
Spiritually.
Spiritually, emotionally.
Sexually.
Yeah, let's just cut it off there. Just
I
those two.
was shown a preview card today, which surprised me because I'd already seen it because it was my preview card on EDH Rec, and I was upset. The Commander's Herald, actually. CommandersHerald.com. Not EDH Rec. Totally separate website.
Well,
Also, not a sponsor, but still pitchable.
Not a sponsor, but I'll allow it.
We had a lot of previews today from Gavin and Blake. There we go.
He's going full Winnebago man.
This episode's gonna
Fuck it,
suck,
do it
but I'm
live.
having a ton of fun.
Jason, to you it's Winnebago Man. To me it's Bill O'Reilly. Like, we'll do it live.
Yeah.
Like that was my internet, like first internet meme.
But Winnebago Man was trying so hard to record a commercial, and he kept up, and he was mad at himself. Instead of accoutrements, he said accoutrements, and he was so mad at himself. What the is that?
One of my favorite pronunciation things like that was I was at like the hotel restaurant at GP Denver one year. It was like 6 a.m. and Rich Hagon jaunts out because it's fucking 11 for him. And he's like sitting at the table talking to the waitress, and I just hear him say, "Connossier." I'm like, man, that is a way to say connoisseur.
Excuse me. Americans don't learn French in school. We did.
For what it's worth, I adore Rich Hagon. Big
he's
Rich
the
Hagon
best.
fan here. Yeah.
I thought they should have made Two-Headed Giant be a Pro Tour level event one more time, just so we could say Rich Hagon and BDM team up and take down the event.
I'd be into that.
I may be slightly biased because I was ranked nationally in Two-Headed Giant.
All right, so we got Commander Masters previews from our friends Gavin and Blake at Wizards of the Coast. We got some heavy hitters. We have Land Tax. We've got Savala, Azusa again. I don't know why they keep giving us Azusa. We've gotten like 7 printings of Azusa.
How many Azusas they're like, it hit $25 once, and they're like, we have to print this every 6 months.
The medallion cycle is actually needed. That one we needed. We needed them in
First foil printings.
I don't know if we needed them or any card ever in foil etched, but we have them now in foil etched.
We can't do a thing. It's not illegal to make those, so we can't stop them.
Well, so the thing is, they probably were like, foil etch cards are going to go over so good. Let's book like 5 years of printing these with the company. We got at least 2 more years of etch cards.
That was not in my mind palace up until today, and now it is, and it's your fault.
A lot of things wrong with a lot of industries are because someone signed a contract when they weren't probably supposed to.
Yeah. I can think of a few instances.
You remember, like, hey, we were going to do masterpieces every block, but then we were doing them too often, and people didn't think they were special anymore, so we understand we're scaled back on the master. Just kidding, faces! Masterpieces in everything! Masterpiece Masters!
A lot of people don't know that we actually have we're coming up on the 10th year of a 20-year contract with Brainstorm Brewery. I signed it when I was like 12. Probably shouldn't have, but like
shouldn't have, because it's in perpetuity. Never sign an in perpetuity contract. They're illegal now, but they weren't 10 years ago when we signed this. So
I saw a strange young man at my door, and I just grabbed out my blue crayon and I wrote a D and a J there, and
when you were 10?
12 is what he said, which is even worse.
12.
You were signing things in crayon when you were 12? I feel like you would have known to like grab a pen by 12. You good,
At 12,
DJ?
I would ask my brothers, like, do we have any crayons? He's like, I'm fucking 9. I don't use crayons.
Bring
What am I,
crayons
DJ?
back. Crayons did nothing wrong here. They're getting crucified for no reason.
I like how you pronounce it like it's spelled C-R-A-N. That's my favorite.
Crayons are the writing utensil of the petite bourgeoisie, and I will not stand for them.
The petite
I
bourgeoisie.
do like it if you're at a fancy restaurant where they put butcher paper on the table. You can ask them for crayons, and they can't refuse you.
Fancy restaurant. Just bring your own from home. Bring like the Crayola 64 pack.
Pardon me, I brought my own crayons, thank you.
With the sharpener in the back.
Yeah, as if I would ever dream of using your bull crayons for everybody.
Low wax content.
You put the napkin on your lap like a fancy person before you start grinding the hand sharpener.
These are $5 a piece, Crayola Organic. A sharpener, I hand whittle them.
These are fine wax charcoals, sir. These are artiste's tools.
When I was a kid, I had the crayon reuser or whatever, the crayon melter, where you put a bunch
the
of
melter, yeah.
You put a bunch of broken crayons in, and it made a new one.
When I was a kid, I like hoarded crayons, and I would like deal them to people, and like certain colors were more valuable than others, and I'd be like, "You want a blue crayon, buddy? That's gonna cost you at least 2 reds." I've been doing this finance
and or dealing.
Yeah, ever since I was little, I was born into this. I was built to grind. You motherfuckers don't even know.
Mine was packs of gum.
Sure.
That's a basic one. That's
You'll never
Gum
believe
is the opium
this.
of the masses.
We called it crack. It was a sandwich bag with Kool-Aid powder mixed with sugar. And you could just go home and make that. And you could put it in little plastic bags and sell it for $1 at school. And I felt like a kingpin. I was a crack dealer. I did felony weight in one recess.
You had a teacher paid off, but you gave her like actual crack. You had a separate pile.
I didn't call it crack. I immediately saw that there was a market. And I went home and I got cooking. I went home and I was like, let's cook.
The way you bribe elementary school teachers is with a $5 Starbucks gift card, right? That's like tradition.
Yeah.
You give them a little $5, you're like, teach, don't even worry about it today, okay? I got you covered.
She used this to just like crush up a sugar cube on her desk and make a couple of rails of it.
Oh, I'm just picturing her like taking out other kids in the playground. Like walking over the other side of the swing set and just like chokeholding Jimmy into like, yeah, no, this is Jason's territory. Yeah, nap time. Nap time.
Nap. That's the last thing you say as a teacher. As you do a blood choke on an 8-year-old and say nap time. We were going to just discipline you until you had a catchphrase ready. That's premeditated.
Catchphrase is the difference between...
That makes it
heat of
first
moment.
degree child choking, which is a misdemeanor.
Well, I just want to say, this cast, by the way, we are TikTok ready. This clip of each of us saying something and the other two just, like, hysterically laughing for 45 seconds is the TikTok formula. Just saying,
Looks
we
like
could be
Tommy
famous.
melted his last crayon.
If I hold out on TikTok long enough, it'll fit. I didn't get
It'll
into
go
Vine
away.
either. Everyone's like, you should be on Vine. I'm like, no.
If you ignore it long enough, it'll go away. It's not a kindergartner, Jason. It's here to stay.
It's not a kindergartner in a hot car.
A kindergartner? You think a kindergartner couldn't get out of a hot car? You think a
No,
6-year-old?
they're very dumb.
You think a 6? Oh my god, dude! If my 6-year-old, if Lily when she was 6 couldn't get out of a hot car, good. I think every 6-year-old should be put in a hot car.
That's like their blood tribunal. Like
Children of Hunger
It's like in the
Games.
300 where they sent him into the woods with a stick to fight a wolf. It's just like, can you get out of a car seat?
Jason,
It's a
I
whole
don't know
birthday
things about
celebration.
children. I'm not weird.
it's a birthday celebration. Like you have the birthday party and everything goes as normal, and then there's the ceremony one at a time. All the other kids are surrounding the car at this party. Like it's.
Banging on the window.
Honestly, the best part about having kids is talking to people who don't have kids because they have no idea at what age people should be able to do things.
Yeah, like a 12-year-old should probably not be able to write with pens, or they probably still have to use crayons.
I was like, hey man, I gotta go. I gotta change my daughter's diaper. My friend Nate's like, what? You have to change her? How old is she? I'm like, she's 19 months, bud. He's like, oh wow, okay, I didn't realize kids still had diapers. So is she is she able to drive yet? Like, I could use a lift. Has she gotten her learner's permit or?
Yeah, she's like 74 months. Like 74 months to me is the same as a newborn. I'm not gonna do that math.
74. That's some jailhouse math.
So I'm not gonna do that math. You could use that as a get out of jail free card, right? Like your buddy's like, hey, you know what's going on? You're like, oh, you know, I gotta go home and take care of the kids. They're not really fully, you know, they need someone watching them at all times. And they're like, isn't your kid like 8 years old? And you say like, no, she's like 74 months. And they're like, oh wow, what a baby, go.
Yeah.
Yeah. But you know why parents do the month thing? It's to big dick other parents. I didn't realize this. They're like, how old's your kid? Oh, you know exactly how many months. Because it's like, oh, yeah, my Tyler's been walking for a couple of weeks. And it's like, oh, yeah? How old's Tyler? And they're like, he's 2. Oh, yeah? Well, Soren started walking at 22 months. How old's Tyler? Fuck, 23 months. Oh!
Really, huh?
Some kids develop a little bit later. That's okay. I don't think Soren's better than Tyler because he started crawling and walking at 22 months and took Tyler. I'm certainly not going to go home and high five my wife, and then we're gonna make fun of Tyler. we're gonna get drunk in our kitchen and stumble around pretending to be a 23-year-old who still can't walk. What a fucking idiot!
Oh, that's yes. Oh,
that's
sorry.
why we do the months.
I hate to cut this conversation short, Jessica. We have to. I just got a message from the babysitter. There's a bunch of crayon drawings on our walls. Yeah, that's right. He has dexterity now. You or bye.
That's what happens when you leave a 12-year-old alone.
In a hot car with crayons.
DJ Wright's helping crayon. He's there in a little booster seat kicking his feet.
And the P is backwards.
Well, I was going to let him out, but I thought maybe it was one of those Garfields that people suction cup in their windows.
A movie recently came out where Willem Dafoe gets he breaks into someone's house, but it's like a smart house and it locks him in. And it's like a movie with just him in this house, trying to drink his sweat or whatever. It's supposed to be some horror thing. Just that, but it's like a 12-year-old knock car.
They had that. That's called Cujo. That was the you didn't have to invoke Willem Dafoe. You're just describing the plot to Cujo.
I'm just
I don't
dripping
know what
sweat.
Cujo is.
No, Jason, I'm just dripping sweat like having a heat stroke doing a driving crooner.
Imagine dying in the driving crooner car. You're just there passed out. It's like, back up. The cigar doesn't line up with his dead mouth.
They're trying to make it look fake.
They're trying to
You're gonna kill me.
Oh man, let's talk about Magic for 20 minutes so we can leave. I gotta go eat some Kraft mac and cheese.
This is so much more fun without
In
Corbin
true
here.
Magic Finance fashion.
This is so much fun when he's not here.
Listen, my husband's making me Kraft mac and cheese, and I'm gonna go eat it in 20 minutes.
There's nothing wrong with that. So, Commander Masters is a weird draft format. Explicitly for this draft format, you are allowed to partner any two monocolor commanders. So you can go Kozilek Selvala, you can go Azusa with Krenko, you can go Urza with Trainer, you can partner any two commanders.
All right, Bubba from Forrest Gump. You don't have to give us every...
We got fried Urza, boiled Urza.
That's all the Urzas there are. Thanks for the full permutation exercise, Rain Man.
But there are plenty of stinkers in this Masters set as we're used to. We got Evacuation that Blake was really excited about.
All the bad cards sound like poop jokes. Evacuation, Personal Tutor, because I made a 4-minute fart noise when I saw Personal Tutor was in the set.
Jason, did your bowels have an insurrection today?
Personal
They
Tutor
had
was
an outsurrection.
Personal Tutor was $100 before this set. You know that, right?
Yeah.
It was a 4 of in a Legacy deck. That's why it's in there.
Yeah, it's...
It is the oldest
Sure, it needed
reprint
sure. It needed, but
the set
why
from
not
Portal
just
2.
let Portal have something? Portal
Fuck
is
Portal.
nothing.
All my homies hate Portal.
I love Portal. Those are the
Same,
first basics
actually.
I used.
The Portal
Because they had
sets
the
are some of
big
the
mana
coolest
symbol.
things.
Ooh, I
Yeah.
love those.
The
For 3
point-
months until Unglued came out.
The point of Commander Masters, though, there's going to be a lot of cards that tank in value. Medallions are going to be sub $10 a piece, if that. Krenko is going to be close to a bulk rare, probably not a bulk rare, but close to it. Spellseeker's going to take a big hit. Regal Behemoth, one of Jason's favorite cards, is going to be
It's
cheap
pronounced
for a while.
Royal Behemoth. You're embarrassing me.
Regio Behemoth is going to be pretty cheap for a while. And I do think that there will be possibilities to pick up some of these cards for cheaper. But the Commander Precons that are retailing for close to $100 a piece, those are where the new cards are. So we've never had new cards in a Master set, but the Precons are going to have new cards, and those new cards are going to spike old cards.
Yep. And we already have all the decks on EDH Rec, because these 4 have been spoiled since Philly.
Jeez,
Zolodoc,
really?
Anixia, Commodore Guff, and Sliver Gravemother. So we have a lot of decks built for those already. So you can fully peruse all those pages to see all the other cards in those decks already.
Yeah, I mean, I personally think that the Sliver deck is going to make people the most money if you are able to accurately target the slivers that are not going to be in the product. Then those are probably going to go up. It's going to be weird if I think, how do I say this? Slivers went through a mechanical change about 10 years ago where pre-2014 Slivers all buff every sliver in play, and then they changed it to make it so that they only buff your slivers.
M14, yeah.
I am curious to see which side of that coin they decide to put the slivers. I mean, there'll probably be both. There'll probably be slivers of all kinds.
I don't think they're afraid to put those in anymore.
It just makes the game very interesting if two of those sliver precons play each other, but I think that's a bullet they're willing to bite.
I think it's also like kind of a cool factor, right? Like some of the slivers make like there's drawbacks.
Yeah. But there's no way you won't play Crystalline Sliver, for example, and that's under $5 right now. So like some of these are just no brainer. If you can get an $8 Brood Sliver, do it. So like I think they're less inclined to maybe print some of the old stuff, but I could be wrong. Maybe they'll reprint Vittle Sliver just because people call it Victual. And then somebody in a Usenet group told me it was actually Vittle. And I never forgot that.
I would believe... If I'm buying any of these, I'm buying the old ones for sure.
Yes.
Yeah.
Crystalline is the one that goes from 5 to 20 if it's not in the deck.
Dormant too, because that's the one where you can pay life to bounce them. The Dormant and Crystalline were the ones that were, like... Back when there was a Legacy Slivers deck, those were in that deck.
I also think the slivers with weirder mechanics might be safer bets. Like, isn't there one that gives, like, Rampage or something? Or Provoke? I think they're less likely to put Provoke in a precon than they are to put, +1/+1.
Essence is a really neat one because it is not lifelink. It is a triggered ability.
Yeah. Yeah, I think keeping in mind that, like, the easier the ability is to grok, the more likely they are to put it in the set.
Yes, and that also goes for just generic tribal stuff like Realm Walker or Realm Waker, Realm Walker and Morophon, and just all of like the coat of arms bread and butter. I mean, I picked Door of Destinies recently as a pick of the week just because like it's just money. It's just
the typal stuff. It gets reprinted and it'll just go back up. Like all that typal stuff is just so volatile. It's not safe because it's obvious. It's super volatile because it's obvious. I tend to avoid stuff like that because slivers are super obvious. But like, man, I'm really looking hard at Zuladoc Void Gorger. That's kind of where I got Palladium Mirror from. There's a ton of high synergy cards, and I don't think they're going to reprint all of these. If the Betrays has gotten a reprint, are they going to print it again?
I think
I don't know.
Probably. That feels like one that they would hit, but like Spawnsire, they're probably not.
Spawnsire is a wild card.
Spawnsire is like a card that I don't think they'd ever put in a precon, right? Like, there's no way.
You can't use the ability if you buy the precon.
Right. So, like, Spawnsire feels like, I mean, this is unofficial pick of the week, Spawnsire Ulamog.
But, like, a lot of these are, like, really cheap. A lot of these got super high, but, like, the original Kozilek is under $25 right now. Like, some of these
and
just...
it's in the set, too, right?
What's your truth?
Kozilek... No, not the original one, the reprint one. The Oath of the Gatewatch one is in the set.
Okay.
Yeah, Great Distortions in the set. Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay.
But I mean, all of these. It is worth noting, all of these decks are MSRPing air quotes for around $100. So the quality of reprints in them is expected to be higher.
Yeah.
No, I don't expect it. That's what they say, but
in theory, they could be higher. I guess is like the way I would put it.
We have just eaten so much of their for the last 3 years that there's no way they're going to be nice to us now because we've proven we don't deserve it.
People will continue to buy them though. That's the thing. They'll keep selling out.
Also, like they might like put Argothian Enchantress in the Enchantress deck or something, and just like, was that card that much? Who knows? That's like I can see them like putting something big in it, like they didn't fully realize how expensive the card was.
Well, I think Argothian Enchantress is on the reserve list, isn't it?
Nope.
No,
it was in Eternal Masters.
That's right, it was in Eternal Masters.
It's a card that super feels like it is on the reserve list because it was like Saga and then the Judge Foil.
Yep.
Because Sentinel Centaurs was on the reserve list.
Yeah.
And that Angel with Echo. That I don't even
Lightning.
Do remember the name of it.
I don't know. But all four of these decks, I think they picked like four of the most popular casual archetypes they could have possibly picked. I mean, Enchantments, Eldrazi, Planeswalkers, and Slivers. Those are, like, the things that fly off the shelves easiest. But, alright, so, I've got a pitch for you, Jason. Here we go. I'll play Eldrazi. Cass plays, Slivers. You can play Enchantments. Corbin can play Commodore Guff. And then wait, hear the rest of my pitch. And then we get 28 other players and play a pod together. How does that sound?
Will we all be sitting at different tables and not being able to see each other's board state? Because that's a real selling point for me. Can you promise me that'll happen?
I can promise you won't have to look at Corbin's reanimated weekend at Bortney's corpse.
I also would never be
Do we not have any friends that we have to have dead Corbin?
Well, dead Corbin would be invited as like a formality.
He'd be the life of the party. Like, we'd invite Patreons. Like, it'd be a Patreon thing. People would come. They'd have to be paying subscribers to sit next. Like, the $100 patrons can sit next to Corbin.
Take selfies with his dead body.
Yeah. But that 32-person pod is not a dream, but a reality. Somebody at an LGS somewhere organized a 32-person Commander game.
Was it the Guinness Book of World Records? That's the kind of they do, where they're like, hey, we want to be in the Guinness Book of World Records as a team building exercise. And they're like, great, you're going to make a big chalupa, and no one's ever going to make a bigger chalupa. Who gives a now you're in the Guinness Book of World Records. They'll give us $10,000. It sounds like someone's like, hey, for $50, I'll put your LGS in the Guinness Book of World Records. Worst game of EDH.
They did it as a going away present or curse or hex or torment to an employee who they loved.
Oh, well, don't tell me that it's a heartwarming story I'm pooping on. Now I'm the guy that wants to demolish the rec center to build a ski lodge.
Nah, that's funnier if we do it this way. It's funnier if you get to be a curmudgeon first.
You know what? I hate it more now.
Yeah. Lean into it. There you go.
If you liked him, you wouldn't make him watch a 7-hour game of Magic, you neckbeards.
We assigned seat positions at number 1 through 4, and that didn't change regardless of who was in it. All of the position 1s took their turn at the same time, raising their hand or standing when the turn was complete. So they turned this into like a whole ballet. There was physical comedy involved. This meant there were 8 turns happening at the same time. I cannot emphasize that the reason this went so smoothly, and smoothly meant that it was a 5-hour game, was because everyone in the room was really on top of it. The only players that exist in your game are your immediate right and left. Nobody else matters. So
you're not playing a 32-player game.
This is like Emperor.
Yeah, we split into at F&M. We had 10 pods. It was a 40-person game. We had mini games. We all started at different times, and we only interacted with the 4 of us. But it was a 40-person game.
I like to think
you all
of this.
Hear that GP Charlotte was a 4,000-person game of Mana.
4,000-person game of Magic. That's insane.
I like to think of this as the human centipede of Magic.
The only way that could work is if you just focused on the person right across from you. These people didn't exist. Only you two in the 4,000-person game.
Left and right.
Hey, you get a load of this fucking guy? Hey, how about him?
If you weren't convinced yet, I haven't sold you on the. I'm. But wait, there's more in you right now. They had plane chase involved. Are you sold yet? There were They hand-picked planes before the game, and they put them. They cast them to TV in the play space, and planes would change between positions 4 and 1.
That's rad. You know, maybe they were just celebrating because the person who liked 32-player games and plane chase, person was leaving the store. And they're like, thank God we don't have to play plane chase at F&M anymore. Goodness.
I don't know. They said it worked.
I feel like such
well.
A curmudgeon for pooping on this, but it's just my night. I'm sorry, it's my nightmare.
I think that's okay. I think that is a valid opinion.
It's like, we filled a room full of snakes to cure cancer, you curmudgeon. Ooh, look at me. I don't like snakes because I love cancer so much. That's not what happened here. I don't like cancer. I just don't like snakes. Snakes are a 5-hour game of Magic with 32 people.
Jason Alt, known cancer lover.
Look, I said I was born in March. I didn't say I love cancer.
They said it was all you can eat crabs.
Ayo!
Ayo!
Now I gotta use pubic shampoo in my beard. Oh!
It's time for the pick of the week.
Pick of the week. Pick of the week. Pick of the week. Time for the pick of the week.
I I will torment you both no longer, but I will post my pick of the week in the voice text channel if you'll direct your attention there. I will post the graph of the card, nothing else.
Screen reader. This is a graph from 2018 to present day. In January 2021, when Kaldheim came out, this card went from 50 cents to $6.25. Help. I'm in a factory. They make us read these manually. This is not an automated process. They lock the doors at night. I'm drinking my sweat. Oh God. Oh God. And then it finished at $2 in July 23. Do you need more information?
Is this like a dwarf? Is this a changeling? Is this an elf?
Well, the card released, I mean, I'll give you the set because that's when the graph starts. Rivals of Ixalan.
Rivals of Ixalan.
Pick of the week isn't a guessing game.
It was like $2.50 in Rivals, and then it went all the way down to like...
I will also tell you that
50
I do not know why this card spiked during Time Spiral Remastered.
Oh, it spiked between Kaldheim and not necessarily because
I mean, it
of
might have been
Kaldheim?
from Kaldheim previews. I genuinely don't know.
I went to $6 and now it's back down to like $2 again. And it's from Rivals Ixalan?
It also has no reprints. This card has never been reprinted.
It's a flip card, right? It's an artifact flip card?
It's
not a flip card.
Is it a dinosaur?
Nope. It's a black instant, and I genuinely have no idea why it spiked, but it is a very powerful black instant in Commander.
Is it a rare?
Yeah.
Is it Vraska's Contempt?
Nope.
Walk the Plank was different set.
This is
not rare and not good.
Hit us with it.
This is Vona's Hunger.
Vona's Hunger. I knew this.
So, does anybody know why this spiked early 2021? Because I don't. Was it Tiny Leaders? Was that it? Was it like
I'm gonna guess some YouTuber was just like, "Hey, Vona's Hunger is like pretty good at dealing with planeswalkers," and then it spiked.
Seraph Realm Eater is one of the top commanders for it, and that was Kaldheim. Giza Gloria's Resurrector was used a bit.
It does only hit creatures. It doesn't even hit planeswalkers.
If I hit planeswalkers, like if you had a certain condition.
Turgrid.
Turgrid's a perfect one for it. True.
Yep.
That's exactly it.
That is why this card.
And you know how I figured that out? I went to edhrec.com. I typed in Vona's Hunger, and I looked at the top commanders, and sure enough, Turgrid came out right around the same time, and it is a high synergy card in that deck. So
yeah, but I mean...
MTG Finance, tip of the week, use your tools.
Use your tools. Get your tool belt going, be Batman, kill your parents. All of that is true and canon.
53% of all Vona decks. Or all Turgrid decks, I mean. Yeah.
I would not be surprised if this card slowly crept up to 5, 6, or 7. I think this one's a little sleeper. It's just a card that gets a little bit of attention every now and again, and it's avoided reprints. I think the fact that it has Ascend is a very weird and specific mechanic. That's not to say that they can't put it in a set. Like it could go in a Commander Precon, but
yeah, it's tougher.
It literally it forces them to print an Ascension token in that
City's Blessing token.
It forces them to create another token card for the product. It's just a little awkward. It's a little blip that makes it a little more difficult to reprint, and it's dodged it for 4 years. I like this card at $2. You can probably get them for like $1 under that if you're buying in bulk from like Europe or Japan. It's just a nice little sleeper hold.
It's not sitting around in like quarter boxes anymore, because when it spiked to $6, all those got rooted out. So honestly, when it spikes again, it'll probably hit 8 or something.
It does show up in bulk rares from time to time. Still,
I'm not surprised. You know,
it just kind of looks like an edict, right? Like at a glance.
It's a sleeper in the same way a kindergarten drug dealer is a sleeper after being choked out by their middle school teacher.
Go to sleep. Go to sleep. Go to sleep. Go to sleep. Go to sleep.
Nap time.
All right.
We're almost at nap time.
My pick of the week this week is a card that was kind of expensive and then got cheap because it got reprinted, and then it kind of is creeping up again. Power Conduit.
Ooh.
Cards like around $2 again. Notably, that card can remove any kind of counter from a permanent, including burden counters from the One Ring. So if you need to manage that, that's good. But also just like, it's one of the more powerful effects in that space we've seen ever.
Yeah.
And it's only in Mirrodin and New Capenna Commander.
And it's a real QB card, too.
Yeah.
I saw somebody doing Urza's Saga things with this recently.
Yep.
I saw that picture on Twitter.
It also goes with Tom Bombadil. Anything Saga related, it's good with.
Oh my goodness, Tom. Anything that takes counter, like,
Yeah.
I almost did like a whole month where all my breakings bulk were just dumb parasites that take counters off of stuff.
You said Tom Bombadil a lot that month, and you were right. You were just correct the whole time.
What a Bombadil.
Both of all
Yeah,
three of this card's price spikes are just vertical. Every time this card spikes, it is just a vertical line.
I was like, what's this card? Oh, fuck. Yep. And it's just like, are you getting a ton of bulk from those sets? Not me.
Right. Like, the only way I actually ended up with 4 of them because I bought a bunch of New Capenna Commander decks when Amazon dropped them super cheap. But, like, I only have 4. I've bought 0 other copies across the last, 2 years.
Yeah, it's wild. I like stuff from Onyxia, Hand of Erebos. I think even if it is reprinted, I don't want to assess reprint risk. I want to assess things that, there's no way there's a better version of this reprinted. I think the extended art, not borderless, but the extended art, Theros Beyond Death Citizen Champion is $6 still. That's a $12 card. It's the best version of it, and if that gets printed again, the regular versions, will probably go down and temporarily, but I really think the extended art, more so than foils, I think extended arts are the ones that are diverging from the non-foil price.
I think the
more
only
than foils
thing
do
that's
now.
gonna hurt this is a crazy cool secret lair.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean,
I'm
that's
not
the world
saying
we
that's
live
a
in.
dig against the card. I'm saying the only thing that could dig this is a
Yeah.
very specific secret lair that was very.
But, every card
I miss
has that
things
risk
being-
nowadays.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
Yeah, I miss things being safe. They hit us with a board game, and I was like, oh shit, I really thought they would never reprint some of these cards, and they're in a board game. But it turns out they don't have to be clever. They're just yeah, Secret Lair, we reprints. Everything that needs to be reprinted except Pitiless Plunder is in here. I don't know why we won't reprint a $13 uncommon.
But here's
That's
another
a pirate.
Azusa.
We've printed multiple pirates since then. Didn't include this with them. That's why $13 uncommon. We're gonna reprint Azusa until it's 15 cents. You fat nerd, Jason Alt. What? Why me personally? That's how it felt anyway.
Maybe we'll get Pitiless Plunder in the Caverns of Ixalan Commander precons. There you go. We got it. We got our spot there.
Yeah, and it'll be real good in that deck. Doesn't even say non-token. Just it's very good.
Magic used to be very good.
You gotta go eat macaroni soon.
Good macaroni or just macaroni?
Yes, she said craft already.
It's actually Velveeta shells and cheese, but we make some Italian sausage and season it and mix it in with it. It's the lowest effort version of that dish. It's quite good.
That's the petit bourgeoisie version of hot dogs cut up in Kraft Easy Mac.
Yeah, basically.
I have this deck box sitting because when you started with the Evan Irwin, I ran to grab my GP sealed New Jersey deck box.
Brainstorm.
Yeah, I got this in a collection 3 weeks ago.
I found one of those playmats tucked into the storage area, in the corner of the wheel well of my car recently.
Before you close out the podcast, before you let it autoplay to that next episode of Behind the Bastards or whatever you have on your Spotify.
If it's on YouTube, you're gonna watch a binging with Babish video whether you want to or not.
If you block the channel, you don't have to see his content anymore.
Why would I block the channel?
I don't know
We
what
have
that
to talk
is.
about. We don't have to talk about how much I hate him on the cast. We can talk about it off the cast sometime.
We should talk about it on the cast.
Maybe
Not
this will
tonight.
autoplay into the podcast done by Cedric Phillips and Patrick Sullivan, and one of those people runs a very cool clothing company who sponsors this podcast, and it has a gift code, and that company is coalesceapparel.shop/collections/Brainstorm Brewery.
Boop.
And then you can even go to the clearance section. You have to buy our bourgeoisie stuff. You don't have to buy our high tier, high quality shirts. You can go to the clearance section, and our gift code stacks with the clearance section. What other gift code does that? Who else price matches and then does discount? Nobody does that.
They're
But Coalesce
honestly
does.
just comfortable shirts.
They're very
Yeah.
You
comfortable.
can get a shirt for like $6. That's like what a blank costs. Do it. Use our code.
Use the code.
You get a boosty too.
That's true.
Well, so my dad bought a shirt and he got the boosty and he was like, "We gotta meet up. We gotta get lunch. Like, I got something for you." And I was like, "Awesome." And I see him. And he's like, "This is the booster pack I got with the shirt. Here you go." And I opened it and it was in like bulk rare. And I had to be like, "Oh, thanks so much, Dad. Thanks for buying the shirt."
Why you bought the shirt?
You bought the shirt.
And so did you. You bought the shirt too, listener. And you know what? We thank you for that. We thank you.
Buy
for...
EDH rec stuff. We're on thin ice.
I'm gonna talk to Cedric. I'm gonna try to get some percentage of these shirt sales to Corbin's memorial fund and his kids.
No, it's on thin ice.
You remember earlier today when Corbin died? What an asshole! JJ, you have to cut this.
A horse accident. He was
JJ.
horsing around.
He's horsing.
The links to the GoFundMe may or may not be in the description. But to be
You
honest,
think you're doing a De Niro impression? That's my favorite part. You're like,
We've pitched you so many things today, and all of those things are more important than Corbin's funeral. So
That is true.
we're just gonna call it here and let the outro come in as I continue to talk nonsense and fade into black while watching Cass just lose herself.
Corbin's dead.
GoFundMe.com/Hostler Funeral. The fun is capitalized. .com.